Kambosos. I can see his frustration through social media.
I love George Kambosos. I don't want to pick holes in what he's saying, but someone's not telling George Kambosos the truth, because the Zone are very, very happy for Kambosos against Haney. They're also very, very happy for Kambosos against Ryan Garcia. He's a big draw. We've already spoke to the Zone. There's a deal in place to try and make this happen. We have made a deal suggestion in writing to Lou DiBella and George Kambosos' team. We've not received anything in writing. Devin Haney is ready to go. And I hope George sees this email, because I love George and I love Jim and I love the team. Devin Haney is ready to get on a plane and make the undisputed fight. There's no money issues, there's no vaccine issues, there's nothing. He will take the fight. Don't worry about people that might take the fight in August or September, or might even not be fighting by then. Make the undisputed fight. You know, I always say this, someone's telling him things that aren't right. And it baffles us, because Bill Haney messaged me, he goes, what's he on about? You know, we're speaking to the Zone, they like the fight. We're ready to go, the money's, you know, there, it's not an issue. So let's make the fight.
Who could be keeping it from Georgia? Like, what's he not being told?
I don't know, but like, it's just weird. It's like, you know, I understand Ryan Garcia is a big draw, and maybe the Zone prefer that fight. But trust me, the Zone have already made the offer for the Haney fight and a structure to make that fight work. And Devin's ready to get on a plane. So you want to be undisputed, take the fight. So don't worry about Devin ducking. I mean, Devin would never duck anyone, he'd fight them all. So hopefully, like I said, George sees this. Let's get it made. He deserves his big moment. George is the guy at 135 right now. That's why Devin is prepared to take the risk, take the opportunity, and fly to Australia for the fight.
Those are the words, once again, of Eddie Hearn. As you heard him say, clear as day, the deal is made. The Zone, the network, is covering it. They got it structured in writing. Devin's waiting, willing, ready to take that fight. And I don't know where the problem is. He calls it weird. And if you notice anything about Eddie Hearn, he's just like, I love these guys. I love him. I love Jim and all that. You know he's about to drop that bomb, right? And with George Kambosos, I feel his problem is, okay? I feel his problem is he has too many options, okay? Now, just imagine if Teofimo Lopez wanted to fight him again. Just imagine if they wanted a revancha, right? Imagine that. That would be another option for George Kambosos. So he has the opportunity. You got the Haney fight. Bam. You got the possibility of fighting Ryan Garcia. Bam. Who else is there? Lomachenko's there. Bam. Then if you had Teofimo. But good thing he's not there. So let's not even talk about Teo. Teo's doing whatever Teo's doing. So you got Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko. So you have a lot of these fights that could be made. And I think a person with options, that's the danger of having a person with options, is because they have time to bullshit. They have time to stall. They have time to see, because they want to know what's the best opportunity for them. We know he wants it in Australia. We know that's really not a thing. You don't want to talk about, and that's what I counterpunched Eddie on. You don't want to talk about Saudi Arabia if you know that the guy, the man, is demanding a fight in Australia, his hometown. So don't even talk about that, because if you give him that option, that means you giving him an opportunity to leave you or to not deal with you because you know what he wants. Those are against or contrast his terms that he wants. And that's the major term. He wants to be the guy in Australia. Okay, and people are going to come all for miles around to see George Kambosos fight. Okay, especially after the buzz that he received when he made it back to his country. Okay, so those are the guys or the people that will come to support him. So it has to be in Australia, right? But looking at Ryan Garcia, they're like, okay, let's hold off to see what Ryan does. We don't know about Ryan, okay? Ryan is unreliable. If Ryan has mental health issues, he is just as unreliable as fighters like Tyson Fury, okay? Understand that. I want people to understand the similarities. Tyson's all over the place. If Ryan is somewhere like Tyson is here, that means he's all over the place, like all around. So you don't know what that man's going to do. Okay? And I didn't hear about him having mental issues until Fortuna. After Fortuna, when Fortuna fight, it was like, oh, something's wrong, right? Mental illness, mental, got to get myself right, right? Then he comes back. You know what I mean? Then he's injured or whatever, then he stalls, and it's just been a lot. It's been a lot for Ryan Garcia. You know, Lomachenko, I would love to see that fight because he is like actually the man to beat, because he's the man that beat the man. Well, if you're the man that beat the man that beat the man, that's what George Kambosos wants to be. But I tell you, if it's like some type of team manipulation, in-house manipulation, that would be bad for Kambosos, you know, and that could happen. But I think his team is looking at the zeros, at the dollars. But if they're looking at the dollars, I think they're also looking at the risk, you know. And if Eddie Hearn and DAZN, and Devin Haney, if they want that fight, and if they want to fight, if George Kambosos wants a guaranteed fight, he needs to fight Devin Haney. If he wants to sit back and wait his options out, well, he will probably be waiting a long time, and what will end up happening, he'll end up not fighting any of them. And that's what we don't want, okay? I really, personally, I could care less. I would love it for Devin because he could fight for Undisputed, and then we would finally have something that's tangible, that's solid at 135. But if that's not the case or whatever, that's fine, as long as he fights one of those guys. Because Ryan Garcia doesn't have a belt. He's not that guy. Lomachenko used to be that guy where George Kambosos is at. So you can have the old king versus the new king, and they get it on and do this thing. Bars. So they could do that. If that, I don't want to see anything else. Tank, you know, Tank will fight George Kambosos before Tio. Well, Tio will fight George Kambosos again before Tank fights George Kambosos. So you can forget about him. So those are the three things. But it's good that Eddie Hearn is saying that. Yo, it's in writing. Check with your team. If your team ain't told you, you got a problem. Houston. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn's comments towards George Kambosos concerning Devin Haney. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.